If you are over the age of 60 and you eat any kind of processed food, drink any kind of sweetened beverage, or rely on any of the foods I am about to describe today, I need you to watch this video from beginning to end. Because what I am about to share with you could be the single most important thing you hear this year when it comes to protecting your eyesight. Most people assume that vision loss after 60 is simply inevitable, that it is written into their genetics, that nothing they eat or do can change the trajectory of their eye health as they age. And that assumption is costing millions of seniors their vision every single year. Because the truth is this: what you eat every single day is either protecting your eyes or destroying them. And 4 of the most common foods in the average American diet are silently and systematically damaging the delicate structures of your eyes right now. Tonight, while you read this, while you watch television, while you go about your day completely unaware. My name is Dr. Wells. I have spent over 2 decades working with older adults and studying the science of aging. And the research on the connection between diet and vision loss in older adults is some of the most compelling and most urgently important evidence in all of modern medicine. Yet most seniors have never heard it, and most doctors never discuss it. Today, I am going to change that. I am going to walk you through the 4 foods that are most consistently and most powerfully linked to accelerated vision loss in adults over 60. I am going to explain exactly how each one damages your eyes at the biological level, and I am going to tell you precisely what you can eat instead to protect your vision for years and decades to come. Stay until food number 3. Because that one surprises almost every single senior I have ever spoken to, and it may be the most dangerous food on this entire list. Let us begin. The first food that is silently destroying your eyesight after 60 is refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup. And I want you to understand clearly that I am not just talking about obvious sweets like candy, cookies, and cake. I am talking about the hidden sugar that is in almost everything in the modern food supply. Breakfast cereals, flavored yogurts, bottled salad dressings, pasta sauces, bread, granola bars, fruit juices, sports drinks. Many foods marketed as healthy contain amounts of added sugar that are genuinely alarming. Here is what refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup do to your eyes specifically, and why this matters so critically after the age of 60. When you consume large amounts of refined sugar, your blood glucose levels spike rapidly, and these repeated blood glucose spikes, over months and years of regular consumption, cause a specific type of damage to the tiny blood vessels throughout your body through a process called glycation. Glycation occurs when sugar molecules attach to proteins in your blood vessel walls, stiffening and damaging them. And the blood vessels that supply your retina, the tissue at the back of your eye responsible for all of your detailed central vision, are among the most vulnerable in the entire body. The retina is supplied by an extraordinarily delicate network of microscopic capillaries. These tiny vessels are so small that red blood cells must travel through them in single file. When sugar-driven glycation damages these vessels, their walls thicken and weaken. They leak. They become blocked. The retina begins to be starved of the oxygen and nutrients it needs to function and repair itself. This process is the underlying mechanism behind diabetic retinopathy, which is the leading cause of blindness in working-age adults in the United States. But here is what most people do not realize. You do not have to be diabetic for this sugar-driven vascular damage to be happening in your retinal blood vessels. Pre-diabetes, which affects more than 96 million American adults, causes the same retinal vascular damage, just more slowly. And even in people with normal fasting blood sugar, habitual high sugar consumption drives chronic inflammation and glycation that progressively damages retinal blood vessels over years. High sugar consumption also promotes chronic systemic inflammation, and chronic inflammation in the retinal vasculature is now understood to be one of the primary drivers of age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of irreversible vision loss in adults over 60 in the United States. A major review of research published in the journal Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found strong associations between high dietary hereditary glycemic index, which is a measure of how rapidly foods raise blood sugar, and increased risk of age-related macular degeneration. What should you do instead? Eliminate sweetened beverages completely. Sodas, fruit juices, sports drinks, sweetened teas, and flavored coffees are among the most damaging things you can consume for your eye health. Replace them with water, plain sparkling water, or unsweetened herbal teas. Read ingredient labels on every packaged food you buy, and look for added sugars in all their forms, including high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, cane sugar, and fruit juice concentrate. Choose whole fruits over fruit juices, as whole fruits contain fiber that slows the absorption of their natural sugars and dramatically reduces their glycemic impact. The second food that is silently destroying your eyesight after 60 is refined vegetable oils. And specifically, I am talking about the industrially processed seed oils that have become the dominant cooking fats in the modern Western diet. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. These oils are in almost every packaged food, almost every restaurant meal, and in the kitchens of the vast majority of American homes. And they are doing serious damage to the eyes of older adults in ways that most people have never been told. Here is the problem. These refined vegetable oils are extraordinarily high in omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids. And while the body does need some omega-6 fatty acids, the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the diet is critically important for controlling inflammation throughout the body, including in the retina. In traditional diets, humans consumed omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids in roughly equal amounts, a ratio of approximately 1:1 or at most 4:1. In the modern Western diet, dominated by refined vegetable oils and processed foods, that ratio has shifted to somewhere between 15:1 and 25:1 in favor of omega-6 fatty acids. This massive imbalance drives chronic pro-inflammatory activity throughout the body. The retina is particularly vulnerable to this omega-6 omega-3 imbalance because it is extraordinarily rich in a specific omega-3 fatty acid called DHA, or docosahexaenoic acid. DHA makes up a significant portion of the structural fat in retinal photoreceptor cell membranes, the cells responsible for actually capturing light and making vision possible. When the body is flooded with omega-6 fatty acids and deficient in omega-3s, DHA availability for retinal cell maintenance declines. The structural integrity of photoreceptor cells is compromised. Inflammatory processes in the retina are amplified, and the risk of macular degeneration and other age-related eye conditions increases significantly. Additionally, refined vegetable oils are highly prone to oxidation. When these oils are heated during cooking, they generate toxic oxidation products including aldehydes and lipid peroxides that are directly damaging to cells throughout the body. The retina, as the most metabolically active tissue in the body and the tissue under the greatest oxidative stress from constant light exposure, is particularly vulnerable to the additional oxidative burden imposed by the consumption of oxidized cooking oils. What should you do instead? Replace refined vegetable oils in your kitchen with extra virgin olive oil, which is rich in anti-inflammatory monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidant polyphenols, and with small amounts of grass-fed butter or coconut oil for higher heat cooking. Increase your intake of omega-3 rich foods, particularly fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and herring, which are rich in the preformed DHA that your retina needs. Aim to eat fatty fish at least twice per week. If you do not eat fish, discuss omega-3 supplementation with your doctor. The third food that is silently destroying your eyesight after 60 is ultra-processed packaged snack foods. And I said this one would surprise you, because most people think of vision loss as something caused by specific eye diseases, specific nutritional deficiencies, or specific risk factors like diabetes. They do not think of their afternoon snack as a threat to their vision, but the research is increasingly clear that it is. Ultra-processed snack foods, including packaged crackers, chips, pretzels, microwave popcorn, packaged cookies, snack cakes, and the enormous variety of other highly processed convenience foods that fill the center aisles of every grocery store, are damaging to eye health through multiple simultaneous mechanisms. First, they are typically made with the refined vegetable oils I just discussed, delivering the pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acid burden I described, often in an oxidized state because these oils are heated during the manufacturing process. Second, they are typically high in refined carbohydrates, white flour, cornstarch, and added sugars, delivering the blood glucose spikes and glycation-driven vascular damage I described with food number 1. Third, they are extraordinarily high in sodium. And while most people associate high sodium primarily with blood pressure, the connection between chronically elevated blood pressure and retinal damage is direct and severe. The retinal blood vessels are among the first vessels in the body to show visible damage from high blood pressure, a condition called hypertensive retinopathy. When blood pressure is chronically elevated, the walls of the retinal arterioles thicken, the vessels narrow, and the blood supply to the retina becomes progressively compromised. The retina becomes ischemic, meaning starved of oxygen, and retinal function deteriorates. Fourth, ultra-processed foods are essentially devoid of the protective nutrients that the retina needs. The lutein and zeaxanthin, the anthocyanins, the vitamin C and vitamin E, the zinc and the omega-3 fatty acids that support retinal health and the nightly repair process. When ultra-processed foods displace whole, nutrient-dense foods in the diet, the retina is progressively deprived of the raw materials it needs to maintain and repair itself. A major study published in the British Journal of Ophthalmology that followed thousands of adults over multiple years found that higher consumption of ultra-processed foods was significantly associated with increased risk of age-related macular degeneration. This was an independent association, meaning that even after accounting for other factors like overall calorie intake, smoking, and physical activity, ultra-processed food consumption was independently linked to higher macular degeneration risk. What should you do instead? Replace ultra-processed snack foods with whole food alternatives. A small handful of mixed nuts, particularly walnuts, which are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and almonds, which are rich in vitamin E. Fresh or frozen berries, which are among the most powerful retinal protectors available. Carrot sticks with hummus, providing beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A, an essential nutrient for the retinal cells responsible for night vision. Dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa content, which provides powerful antioxidant flavonoids with documented benefits for vascular health. These are not just better snack choices, they are snack choices that actively protect the health of your retina rather than threatening it. The fourth food that is silently destroying your eyesight after 60 is processed and cured meats. Hot dogs, bacon, sausages, deli meats, salami, pepperoni, ham. These foods are fixtures in many American diets. They are convenient, they are flavorful, and they are doing significant damage to the eyes of older adults through several distinct biological mechanisms. The first mechanism is their extraordinarily high sodium content. Processed meats are among the saltiest foods in the entire food supply. A single serving of deli meat can contain more than a third of the daily recommended sodium intake. And as I discussed with ultra-processed snack foods, chronic high-sodium consumption drives hypertension, which in turn drives progressive damage to the delicate blood vessels of the retina. The second mechanism is their content of preservatives, particularly nitrates and nitrites, which are used to preserve color and prevent bacterial growth in cured meats. When consumed, nitrates and nitrites interact with proteins and amino acids in the body to form compounds called nitrosamines, many of which are potent oxidative stressors. The retina, already under extreme oxidative stress from constant light exposure, is made more vulnerable to damage by the additional oxidative burden imposed by regular nitrosamine exposure. The third mechanism is their association with chronic systemic inflammation. Processed and cured meats are consistently among the dietary factors most strongly associated with elevated inflammatory markers in population studies. The advanced glycation end products formed during high heat processing of these meats, the saturated fats in certain processed meats, the preservatives and additives they contain, all of these contribute to chronic low-grade inflammation that threatens retinal blood vessel health and promotes the inflammatory processes underlying macular degeneration. A large prospective study that followed over 100,000 adults for more than a decade found that higher consumption of processed red meat was significantly associated with increased risk of age-related macular degeneration, while higher consumption of fish and plant-based proteins was associated with reduced risk. What should you do instead? Replace processed and cured meats with unprocessed protein sources. Grilled or baked fish, particularly fatty fish, twice per week for their omega-3 content. Chicken or turkey without processed additions. Eggs, which are actually among the best dietary sources of lutein and zeaxanthin because of the fat present in the yolk, which dramatically improves the absorption of these fat-soluble retinal protectors. Legumes like lentils, chickpeas, and black beans, which provide protein along with fiber, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds. These protein choices nourish your retina rather than threatening it. So let us bring everything together. The 4 foods that are silently destroying your eyesight after 60 are these. Number 1. Refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup, which damage retinal blood vessels through glycation and drive the chronic inflammation underlying macular degeneration. Number 2. Refined vegetable oils like soybean, corn, and canola oil, which create a pro-inflammatory omega-6 to omega-3 imbalance that depletes the DHA your retinal cells depend on and floods the body with oxidation products that damage retinal tissue. Number 3. Ultra-processed packaged snack foods, which combine multiple vision-damaging mechanisms simultaneously, including inflammatory oils, blood sugar spikes, high sodium, and complete absence of retinal protective nutrients. Number 4. Processed and cured meats, which damage retinal blood vessels through high sodium content, generate oxidative stress through nitrosamine formation, and drive systemic inflammation that threatens retinal health. Here is the single most important message I want you to carry away from everything we have discussed today. Vision loss is not simply an inevitable consequence of aging. It is in large part a consequence of what you eat day after day, year after year. And that means it is within your power to change. You do not have to give up everything you enjoy eating overnight. Start with one change. Eliminate sweetened beverages this week and replace them with water. That single change alone will reduce one of the most significant drivers of retinal blood vessel damage in your diet. Then make one more change the following week. Progress matters far more than perfection. And please, if you have not had a comprehensive dilated eye exam in the past year, schedule one this week. Many of the most serious eye conditions that threaten vision after 60 produce no symptoms in their early stages. The time to catch and address them is before significant vision loss has occurred, not after. Your vision is one of the most precious gifts you have. The ability to see the faces of the people you love, to read, to drive, to watch a sunset, to navigate your world with independence and confidence. Please protect it with the same care and intention you give to every other aspect of your health. If this video helped you today, please share it with every person over 60 in your life. Most of them are eating one or more of these foods right now without any idea of the damage being done. Your sharing could protect their vision, and that is worth more than anything. Click the like button, subscribe to Dr. Wells' Healthy Aging, ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Every week I bring you honest, practical, science-based health information designed specifically for adults over 60. I am Dr. Wells. Thank you so much for being here today. Take care of your eyes, because the world is beautiful, and you deserve to see every bit of it clearly for all the years ahead. Before I close today, I want to leave you with something broader, something that I think will help you understand why the dietary changes I have described today are so powerful and so worth making. Your eyes do not exist in isolation from the rest of your body. They are not separate organs operating independently of your cardiovascular system, your immune system, your metabolic system, or your inflammatory pathways. Your eyes are deeply, intimately connected to every other system in your body. The same blood vessels that supply your heart and your brain also supply your retina. The same inflammatory processes that damage your arteries also damage your retinal capillaries. The same oxidative stress that ages your cells throughout your body also ages your retinal cells. This means that when you eat in a way that protects your retinal blood vessels, you are simultaneously protecting your cardiovascular system. When you reduce chronic inflammation through your diet, you are reducing inflammation in your brain as well as in your eyes. When you eliminate the foods that cause blood sugar spikes and glycation, you are protecting your kidneys and your nerves as well as your retina. A diet that is good for your eyes is a diet that is good for your entire aging body. There is no conflict between protecting your vision and protecting your heart, your brain, your blood vessels, and your longevity. They all respond to the same inputs. They all benefit from the same protective foods, and they are all damaged by the same destructive ones. So when you make the decision to eliminate refined sugars, to replace inflammatory oils with extra virgin olive oil, to stop reaching for ultra-processed snacks, and to choose whole, unprocessed proteins over cured meats, you are not just making a decision for your eyes. You are making a decision for your whole health, your whole future, your whole life. I also want to address something that I hear very commonly from seniors when I discuss dietary changes. They say, "Dr. Wells, I have been eating this way my whole life. Is it really too late to make a difference now?" And my answer is always the same. No, it is not too late. The human body, even at 70, even at 75, even at 80, retains a remarkable capacity to respond positively to improved nutrition. Inflammation begins to decrease within weeks of dietary improvement. Blood glucose levels begin to stabilize. Oxidative stress markers fall. The retina, which is continuously renewing certain of its cell components, begins to receive better nutritional support for that renewal. It is never too late to give your body better raw materials to work with. And the sooner you start, the more of your precious vision you protect going forward. One more thing I want you to know. You do not have to make these changes alone. If you have a spouse, a partner, a family member, or a friend who is also over 60, share this video with them and make these changes together. Research consistently shows that dietary changes are far easier to sustain when they are made with a partner or a supportive community. Cook together, shop together, discover new whole food recipes together. Make it an adventure rather than a sacrifice. Your eyes have given you a lifetime of beauty, of connection, of independence, and of wonder. They have shown you sunsets and faces and words and the expressions of people you love. They deserve every protection you can give them. And that protection is available to you, starting with your very next meal. I am Dr. Wells. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching today. Take care of your eyes. Take care of your whole wonderful self, because you absolutely deserve to see this beautiful world clearly for every single year ahead.